I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And whoo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo! Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the one up on the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground then it go off, yeah. I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, yeah. I hit the ground then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground then it go off, yeah, yeah. Run it, ooh. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging. Ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy. Got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that. It's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up. I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention. So no, I can't miss that. Moving. MVP, I got the record. I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy. They gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming. Had to work something cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans. Partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, yeah. Run it, ooh. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go. we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45. Well, I guess every single weekday except for yesterday. Guys, welcome back to the show every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. And the Fed decided to dump Bitcoin on the retail. Once again, we're going to be taking a look at the price action, guys. Should you be worried about this dump? Was it just some FOMC volatility? Are we going to see a quick recovery? Are we on our way to 34K? We're going to be talking about the lower targets, the higher targets, and what I personally think is going to be coming up very, very soon, or within the next week or so on Bitcoin, guys. Hopefully, I can help demystify the charts for you to give you a clear view on what is going to come next, so you could get into some fire longs and shorts and make some of that money alongside the Candle Mafia. Shout out to the Mafia, guys. Sorry about no stream yesterday. I was going through it yesterday, guys. Yesterday, I had a ton of stuff I was doing. A bunch of stuff came up. I just drove into Mrs. Candle's brand new car. It was not a good day yesterday, so I had some stuff to take care of. And RIP to Mrs. Candle's car. So we'll have a moment of silence for Mrs. Candle's car. And with all that being said, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys will get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure. And speaking of having a bad day yesterday, guys, if we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, we will be giving away 5 potentially defective Frankie Candles hats, because guys, we actually decided Tony D actually assembles these hats, and he does an absolutely flawless job. He used to be, or I guess he still is, an engineer, so he's very everything's got to be perfect and even. And we decided to, unfortunately, make the mistake to outsource this to another company, and they completely ruined 150 hats. It's quite hilarious. It's like they had a 3-year-old assemble these hats, guys. But if we're stuck with all this dead inventory, guys, we might as well give it away. It's just not perfect. We can't sell them, but we can always give them away, and they'll actually be very rare, special edition, defective CandleMafia hats, right? It's almost like when you get like a baseball card with like a very rare defect or something like that. It could be worth some money one day. But guys, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, those key levels to the upside. Should we be expecting more downside? Are we going to get a bounce here? We're going to break it all down in today's live stream. So smash that like button and shout out to Grow My Bitcoin, says those hats are bomb. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Grow My Bitcoin. Did he say, why does Frankie not wear those hats anymore? Have I been not wearing hats lately? I don't know. But they're right here. We still wear them. Actually got 2 of them right here. We got a limited colorway here. Maybe this is what it's supposed to look like. But you guys will see. I'll try to get some defective ones. Shout out to Tony D's. Poor guy's like pulling his hair out over that. But we'll get it all fixed, and we will be giving away those hats if we get 550 likes. Shout out to Gavin. What is going on? Shout out to you, bro. We got Hodl Crypto in the chat. Can we get shipped to Ireland? Shout out to Grow My Bitcoin. I think we do. Don't take my word for that. Tony D will correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe we can ship to Ireland, I believe. So there you go. We got Crypto Naughty in the chat. We got Hannah King. Spam those tiaras in the chat if you have a Frankie Candles membership, and show some respect to Hannah, our Candle Mafia. I almost said Candle Mafia representative. Our Candle Mafia princess, Hannah, I hope you're doing good. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. Show those tiaras, spam those tiaras in chat for Hannah. And shout out to Ziva Crypto Girl. We got Crypto Lady. We got Stupid Bitcoin. And we're going to turn you into Smart Bitcoin, bro. And shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat. Said, we're like your kids. Even when you have a bad day, you have to pick up your kids. Wait, hang on. You have to pick your kids up from the babysitter. Bygones, but what does that even say, Dave? But is that like Dave is speaking in tongues here? He's speaking in hidden riddles. Bygones be bygones. I'm just gonna read it like that. But shout out to Dave Digital. We're like your kids. I would love to have you guys as my kids. Hopefully my kids are as savage as the Candle Mafia. But shout out to you, Dave. Thank you so much for the super chat. I see the tiaras in chat, guys, but I don't want to waste too much time. Bitcoin's on the move. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we are, guys. Actually, let's pull that off the chart. That is a premium chart. Shout out to Grow My Bitcoin. Shout out to you, bro. But let's go ahead and see. Mystic Ruin says you want your kids asking you for TA on COQ. Shout out to Mystic Ruin. We can actually check on COQ. Let's see. I want to buy a sweatshirt, but the shipping costs are insane. 82 euros. Please lower the shipping costs. We could try to do that. Shout out to Crypto Wilson. I'll have to talk to Tony about that. It's probably for us to even break even on a lot of the merch. We have to have the shipping costs. Otherwise, merch is a very, very hard thing to be profitable on. But we try to keep things as cheap as possible for you guys while also at least trying to break even. Fun fact, we actually broke even on all of our merch sales without us really knowing. But we basically broke even on all of our merch sales thus far. But you guys get fire merch, so we don't really care. But anyway, guys, let's continue on and take a look here at Bitcoin as we have gotten a little bit of a pull to the downside. Now, nothing really... I want to be clear here, right? Like, we say the Fed dumped Bitcoin, but guys, like, nothing really too dramatic here, right? Like, I do want to kind of be the word of reason. It's a 3.5% move, surely sizable, surely a profitable short opportunity. However, in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually going to do our typical top-down analysis today to break things down nice and whole. I want to give like a whole breakdown on Bitcoin today, but in the grand scheme of things, even zooming out to something like the 4-hour, we are simply still within our volume profile, and actually, as of right now, not saying that we're going to hold it, but as of right now, we are still remaining just on top of that point of control, which could still open up the door to some higher prices, bringing us up to that value area high. But first off, guys, let's take off that TA, come all the way up to the weekly time frame, and do a full analysis here and give you guys all the key levels we need to be keeping a lookout for. So let's pull up Market Cipher B. You can see our weekly VWAP is starting to roll back to the upside. Other than that, not too much to look at here on the weekly because we can get rejected at the zero line, but we are seeing that VWAP start to curve back to the upside, indicating some potential for a green dot to pop up here in the next, I would say, 2 weeks. Unless we get some kind of massive move to the upside, I wouldn't really see this green dot printing this week or this Sunday, maybe next Sunday, but just something to keep an eye on. It is nice that we are starting to see that round off. Could be a signal for some potential more upside. Now, coming to the 6-day, basically the same thing as the weekly, just a little bit closer to the zero line there. 5-day green dot looking to print. Your 4-day green dot is very eerily close to printing. 3-day green dot is confirmed. Money flow coming back up. This is somewhat bullish in my opinion. However, this VWAP does not look as healthy. But again, these are higher term time frames. I do want to kind of stress that, guys. These time frames take a long time to play out. So although we have money flow coming up on the 3-day with the confirmed green dot, we could see a pullback before that actually winds up really showing itself. So just keep that in mind. And now as we come closer to the 2-day and more specifically the daily, right? Because this daily time frame is something that we've been looking at forever. And specifically what we've been looking at is that money flow trending to the downside, indicating a potential longer-term downtrend to come in. And I saw somebody in the chat say 2-month bear market on the way. And, I'm not saying there's anything in the charts specifically calling for a 2-month exactly bear market, but we have typically seen that, leading up to the halving after our bear market rallies, guys, we do typically see Bitcoin kind of boring, right? Like, it just kind of lackluster. Back in 2019, we obviously hit that macro golden pocket. I know I show this all the time, so I don't really want to beat this dead horse. But you can see here we hit that macro golden pocket, and then we got the move back to the downside, and we got a little bit of a downtrend, but more or less, we kind of just went sideways. Minus the Black Swan event, we kind of just bing-bonged around here until the halving in the next bull run. And that is something that we've kind of been keeping in mind just because, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes. So it's something we have to keep an eye on. And if we are looking at this daily time frame and this money flow creep into the downside, if this crosses into the red, it would indicate a lackluster move to the upside before rolling around, putting in that lower high, and continuing to the downside. And that kind of brings me to my general sentiment on Bitcoin right now. And to be honest with you guys, if you watched the live stream the day before yesterday, before I was just driving cars into things and just smashing things up and spilling coffee all over my bathroom and just going absolutely, yesterday just collapsed as a day, guys. It was insane. It's like, you can't make it up. But shout out to J9 said, finally catching a live. Shout out to J9, or as some people, people close to J9 can call her Jine. But shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in and catching this live stream. We're happy to have you. Look at that. We got Seth saying welcome, J9. Look at that. Mafia in full effect here. But remember, guys, with this money flow, if we see this cross into the red, it is going to indicate that this pump is likely going to be lackluster to put that lower high in and continue to the downside, which basically brings us, again, to that sentiment, which is it essentially remains the same here, right? In the longer term, other than this kind of short-term FOMC volatility that we've seen, my plan remains exactly the same, right? Looking to potentially get a move up to that value area high, and I hope this works as an eye-opener for everybody, right? Like, Fed dumps Bitcoin. Sure, you come down to the 15-minute or the 12-minute, whatever, a lower time frame. This looks super bearish. But, when you zoom out, guys, like, I am still in my long position, which is from down here. I entered in this consolidation area right here, so I am still up pretty good on that long position. But in the grand scheme of things, right, like there really is there's really no huge reason for me to close my trade, right? Because simply put, we're above that value area low. We've gotten to the POCs, which is what we expect. And then once you get above that POC, we are going to be looking to get to that value area high, which at this point we have not actually hit, but only have front run this level. So with that being said, we could still potentially, to be quite honest with you, if we lose this POC, this is kind of where we can start to look a little bit lower down towards the value area low. But in the grand scheme of things, as long as we remain above the value area low, we could still potentially expect that value area high to get hit, right? And I want to go ahead and clear up some of this noise on the chart here. Bear with me. What just happened? Okay, let me just hide this. I didn't want to completely get rid of it. Let me hide this yearly level, which is also a naked point of control, because we do have some really, really key levels to look at here. And I don't want anyone getting super confused, right? And if you are feeling confused, just remember, in the super long term, we are still within our macro volume profile, which we have already hit the value area high, and we'll take a look at some other volume profiles which could call for a break of this yearly high. But, when in doubt, guys, take a look at the volume profiles, right? Like, I know we have a lot of, like, those levels that I just took off. I know it could get super, like, oh my God, there's so many levels. This is so overwhelming, right? But no. When in doubt, just look at the volume profiles, right? Not saying those levels aren't important that I just took off the chart, but look where we are, right? Like when you're looking in terms of the volume profile, you get above the low, you go to the POC, and we are now, at this point, it kind of looks on this time frame, which is the daily, we're just kind of testing that POC as support, right? So we could still potentially, as long as we hold above this POC, we could expect that value area high to get hit. However, not a bad time if you are in a long similar to the long position I am in, which is right here. I actually was planning on taking profits last time we hit this level. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff going on right now. So I am still in that position. But if you are in a position similar to that, if you entered below the range, which is typically where we look for those long positions, because remember, when you deviate below your volume profile, or specifically the value area low, this is an oversold Bitcoin, right? Or in other words, an undervalued Bitcoin, which is why you want to look for long confirmations here to then get sucked back in towards that magnet, which is the POC of the range, and then eventually fill the range to the value area high. And that is the thought process and theory behind these trades that we take, not only on the live streams, in the premium Discord. This is basically what we look at. So just taking a look at the simple volume profile, we could potentially still look for that value area high to get hit. But it does not guarantee that we are 100% going to hit it. But, based off the analysis here, we could still hit that value area high. So I am still going to hold a portion of my trade. And again, until we hit that value area high, this is where I would be looking to take most of that position off the table, right? Because my general plan here, guys, like I said, my entry is somewhere within here, right? Stop loss is below that low. And then this is kind of be where I would take most of my gains, right? Or most of my profit at the value area high. And then as you guys know, just like we looked at on the daily in the longer term analysis, we are looking for a potential lower high to come in here. And we know that those likely places for those lower highs to come in at is going to be, let me pull the fib, right? That lower high is likely to come in at this 786. Where are we? 786. Golden pocket retracement, which does sit at about $45,000. Now, another key level. These are the two absolute major key levels of resistance you have to be keeping an eye on to the upside, guys. It's the $45,000 golden pocket sitting right here. Bada boom. These are, let me just turn these levels back on, right? Because this is basically everything I just turned off. And we'll just show it again, right? So we have the volume profile, but to give us a little extra context, we know that if we deviate from this value area high, we could come up into this beautiful, beautiful area to potentially put a lower high in at $45,000, the golden pocket of this entire move to the downside. And if we break above that golden pocket, this is where we are going to be looking a little bit higher to another key level, which sits at just about $46,000 even. And let me show you where these levels actually come from. And it actually comes from ExoCharts. And if I pull up my templates here, and we go ahead and take a look at the weekly naked points of control, you can see these yellow lines are the naked points of control. And right up here, we have a naked weekly point of control at $46,000. This is a very, very important level of resistance we have to be keeping our eye on. Now, if we come on over to the daily, you could see, let's see, do we not have a, bear with me, is it a weekly or a monthly? Let me pull up a trading view. We could probably pull it up here. Go to the daily, turn on the NPOCs. Now, I do, I said this the other day, guys. I do typically like to take the NPOCs from ExoCharts just because they pull real-time data from the exchanges, which gives you a very, very accurate volume analysis. But you can also use TradingView just like I do here to get these naked points of control. And I thought we did have a daily, but I guess not. Is it, let me see here. This is actually a little bit weird. So 46, let me see the monthly POC. I'm going to let this load. Oh, there we go. I did not expect that to happen so fast. There we go. And then no, 49K. We already hit that one. Interesting. Well, we have a weekly naked point of control at 46K, which is a strong level in itself. And I believe maybe it's a TPOC, but 46K, guys, psychological level. Naked weekly point of control, which is a very, very strong level you want to be keeping an eye on. This is going to be that next key level, and I don't know if I have it marked out on the chart. I don't believe I do, so let me go ahead and mark it off right now. And it is sitting just at about $46,000 even, right? So I'm just going to go 46. What are we doing here? 46. There we go. Bada boom, right? So this is going to be, to be quite honest with you guys, I actually prefer this level. Let me change this color too, because this is kind of a special level. Because you have the psychological level, you have the naked point of control, and we'll go weekly MPOC, and you have the psychological level of 46K. So these are the next two key levels that I'm looking at to the upside, right? So we get above here, value area high. This is going to be where I'm starting to look for shorts, but understanding that it is likely that we deviate above the value area high into these other key levels. And to be quite honest with you guys, I like to show the nuance of levels, right? And in general, we really want to look at the 786 golden pocket retracement. But we have to understand that 46K is right in the middle, right? And if we look at this local volume profile on this area of consolidation, you can see that POC is also coming in very close to $46,000, adding a little bit of confluence to that actual level. So, but then, that 40, so typically here, structure-wise, we are simply looking for a move through the range, a deviation into the golden pocket or the 786, because we know these are the areas where it would be likely to get a lower high to come in if we are going to see the continued macro downtrend based off this daily money flow crossing over into the red. Does that make sense? So these are the problem is we don't know if we're going to reject the golden pocket. We don't know if we're going to reject the 786. And we really don't know if we're going to reject that naked point of control. To be quite honest with you, the fact that that naked point of control is right smack dab in the middle of the rejection zone, right? If we're looking for shorts, let me break this down for you guys, right? Because this is very, very, this is important, right? If I pull a fib, right? Let's say we have a trend, right? We have an uptrend, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, higher highs, higher lows, bada boom, right? And then we are looking to, we got to move to the downside. We broke the structure, and then we pull our fib from the high to the low. We now know, and we are also assuming that money flow is coming out like it is on the daily here. With a setup like this, where you are looking to potentially start a downtrend, and you have money flow coming out, indicating a downtrend in the macro likely about to start, this is where you look for that lackluster move to the upside to put in a lower high. That lower high zone, this is kind of like some free sauce here, right? It's nothing really super special, but we would expect anytime you're expecting a downtrend, whether you're just looking at the market structure, whether you're basing it off of your money flow, if you are looking for a lower high to come in, oftentimes that lower high is going to come in between a golden pocket or a 786 retracement zone. This is a short zone, right? Anytime you pull it and you're looking for shorts, you're looking for it to come in between these two levels. Well, technically 3 levels, but the golden pocket we're considering 1 level, right? These are actually technically 2 levels. It's the 6.5 and the 6.18. So with that being said, this is already where we look for the rejections. And the fact that we have that weekly naked point of control dead smack in the middle, this whole zone is going to be a big area to look for that bigger downtrend to start, right? And again, we are also taking that higher time frame money flow trying to use it to give us insight into what that trend is likely to look like in the future. And that is the simple situation that we are in right now. And again, right through the range, deviate from the value area high, put that lower high in somewhere between these levels, and it's just extra sauce that naked point of control is sitting right at $46,000. So those are the key levels. Like that, and again, this is has been my plan since not yesterday, but the day before. If you guys are tuned into the live stream, same exact plan. To be honest, like nothing really, it's crazy. I feel like I'm always saying nothing is really happening, but it's the truth, right? Like when you zoom out, if you're not looking at the super low time frames, there really isn't much going on here. We are simply just within our volume profile hoping to get to that high. If we don't get to the high and we lose this POC, we're looking down to potentially hit that value area low. Once we start losing this range again, that is where we can start to say, hey, maybe the lower high already came in here, but I am still going to be looking up towards these higher levels. If we do get a push, these are the significant levels of resistance. And there you go, guys. And here's the thing. I'll give you the bullish case as well, right? Let's say that, and we talked about this on the last stream as well. Let's say we get that push to the upside. We get above that value area high. We start flipping. I'll be honest, right? 786 would be invalidation for me for the short. If we start getting on top of this 786, in my opinion, it's very likely to break that yearly high because at that point, you're like, basically breaking it, right? You're very close. And that could be a very, very clear indication that you're going higher, in which case your next key level of resistance, or I should say next target to the upside, will be the buy bit value area high, right? Because if we come on over the buy bit, you have to remember we have multiple exchanges with different levels, right? So you can see, although on Bitstamp, let me hide all this local stuff. I don't want anyone getting confused. I want to make this as clear and concise as possible. Where is our macro volume profile? Here we go, right? So you have this macro volume profile, in which case we've already tested the value area high. So that's where you're going to expect the rejection. However, if you come to the buy bit chart, you can see where the value area high is on Bitstamp is simply only the POC of the buy bit range, which means that we could potentially see a visit of the value area high of the buy bit range. So again, if we flip that $46,000 level to support, and again, I said that 786 is kind of the key level that I would be looking at. However, to be honest, more importantly, I will be watching that naked point of control, because if you flip that naked point of control to support, zoom back in, if we flip that naked point of control to support, that could potentially give us the power to break those highs. And, you can still watch the 786 as well. We have a fresh daily up here as well. So in my opinion, once you start flipping 46.8, like that is where I think we're going to break that high, simply targeting that buy bit POC above at $54,439. Now, this also makes sense theory-wise based off of the volume profiles, and I'll tell you exactly why. And it's because if you look at this, if we bring up the macro volume profile one more time and zoom out, right? If we were looking for, like, what would a saucy short, in my opinion, look like here? Well, what I would like to see is a deviation above the volume profile, right? And then as you deviate above that profile, that is where you could start looking for short positions to potentially get accepted back into the range, or just look to take that short back down to the previous value area high to test it as support, close the trade, because at that point you may be breaking off to higher prices. But if we were to break this yearly high, you would be outside of your value area, which would be short hunting territory, or short trapping territory, I should say. And if you come on over to the buy bit chart, you can see it would make a lot of sense to come up to that level, right? Because you would simply just be continuing to fill your macro range up to 54,439. So these are the next key levels to the upside that I'm looking at, guys, and kind of my general plan, which again hasn't really changed. Some lower time frame volatility off the FOMC news. But again, if we lose this POC decisively, I'd be looking to come down to about 40,924. And if we wind up coming higher, I will be taking most of my profits on the long at that value area high. All right, let's see. Hey, Ant Art in the house. What is going on, Ant Art NFTs? Shout out to you. Welcome in. Good to see you here, bro. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. He says, at Straightway Life asks, is that an inverse head and shoulders on the daily? Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see. Yeah, I see exactly what you're looking at. I assume this is what you're looking at. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder type formation. I guess it would be more like this. Could be. Let's see. I do see what you're talking about. Let me see. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. If you were to see this play out as a head and shoulders, let's see. Does TradingView call this out as a head and shoulders? Let's see. Let's see. Not on the daily. Let's see. 10 hour. Nope. All right. So TradingView's not calling it. Doesn't mean it's not there. I mean, it's an algorithm. It can only be so accurate. But if this were to break out as a head and shoulders, let's take that technical target. Boom. I mean, brings you right up to that previous high if you do see this break out. So very interesting. If that is going to play out like a head and shoulders, as you guys know, I am not a huge pattern trader, but they do obviously play out more often than they don't. I'm not saying you can't trade them. It's just something I don't typically look at too much. I look at them more for confluence or context, if anything. But I do see what you're looking at here, and that could be a head and shoulders. And if it did break out, that technical target would be about $49,000. Which could be, what we're looking for, but to potentially come in here if we are going to go for that buy bit value area high at 54,439. So kind of in the middle here, guys, holding the long position. If we come up, again, those next key levels of resistance are kind of where I'm starting to be a little bit more careful with things. And then if we do come back down, you guys know the key levels of support I'm looking at because we are simply trading within that range. So there you go. Jay Gilly says 1 week shoulder. Yeah, it is kind of a wonked out. Head and shoulders, but I've seen weirder looking ones. Shout out to Hazard Shot. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Thesis himself. Said an inverse head and shoulders is classified. Yo, shout out to Thesis. Thesis is a big pattern guy, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Thesis. I don't want to put you in a box or anything. But yeah, Thesis says inverse head and shoulders is classified as a simple change of character. You could call it whatever you want. Yes, thank you, Thesis. Thank you. Yes, that is. Yeah, I just, call it whatever you want. Let me finish this. A break of structure is a break of structure, and a reversal is a reversal. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Thesis. All right, so yeah, these kind of patterns, the head and shoulders, it's kind of just a way to identify, right? It's an easy way to remember what you're looking at. But yes, shout out to Thesis himself. Yes. I love that. A break of structure is a break of structure, and a reversal is a reversal. Yes. Let's see. Yeah. But yeah, no, as far as I'm concerned, this totally could be a head and shoulders. It's just not my main strategy, right? So I'm not like, I don't really trade these. Again, I take them as context. So that could be considered a little bit more bullish. But take a look at Market Cipher here. Let's actually do some of the lower term analysis now that I think you guys understand kind of my basic plan, right? The if this, then that. If we come higher, TP at the value area high, looking for shorts between that 786 golden pocket, which we just looked at, right? So if we come up, taking profit here, looking for the shorts in this zone next. If we come down, to be quite honest with you, if we come down, looking for support at the value area low, and let's do the lower term time frames here, right? 4-hour red dot is printing. Did we get that blood diamond? Yeah, got the 4-hour blood diamond printing, which would be a little bit more of a bearish sign. So yeah, that would be calling for no visit to the value area high, but we'll have to see what happens. Another thing here, guys, is your 12 and your 16-hour red dots are confirmed, and we also have not only our 1-hour money flow coming out, but our 45-minute has just crossed over into the red. The thing here, guys, is it is a little bit it's a little bit up in the air right now, and the reason for that is because this dump was based off the FOMC, right? So this was kind of like a news-based move, and we are seeing the money flow cross over into the red with the 45-minute, and oftentimes when we see that 12-hour red dot printing at the same time as that money flow crossover, which is not really what happened here, but it could still indicate a move to the downside. So that is a little bit more bearish in my opinion. However, and then also looking at the daily, this daily VWAP at this point, guys, is starting to roll back over. And something we can watch now is, remember, when you get that daily red dot, the first thing I am doing is going down to the 90-minute to assess what the money flow is doing. And if you see something like this while the red dot is printing, that oftentimes indicates a big move to the downside. This is what we were talking about with our 90-minute money flow crossover into the green that we just got right here, right? We were saying, hey, guys, like last time we were getting that green dot on the daily, this literally the green dot that is still in play here, right? When we were looking at this on the live stream, we were saying, hey, green dot is printing. Let's check that 90-minute money flow. And when we looked at the 90-minute money flow, we were able to see, well, if I bring it back to here, right? Daily green dot is about to print, or is printing here. Go to the 90-minute. What is money flow doing? Well. Look at that. Money flow is about to cross over into the green. Now we know. The green dot is printing. If that green dot on the daily prints or confirms, and this 90-minute money flow comes up into the green, this is oftentimes a very good signal of what will start the move to the upside. This is a strategy we use all the time on the channel, in the Discord, etc. And this is part of the reason why I was looking to get into my long entry here. It was more based off some divergences, and the deviation below the range. But the 90-minute money flow coming up with the daily green dot printing at the same time was beautiful, beautiful confluence that this was going to turn into a failed auction, meaning we tried to trade at lower prices and it just got sucked back into the fair value, or the value area, which is between the value area high and the value area low, and then we were looking to fill the whole range. And that was part of the theory that was behind the long position that I'm in right now. I'm not logged in anymore. Let me actually pull this up for you guys real quick just so I can show the trade. Bada boom. And let me log in. But as you guys can see here, let me just make sure you guys are seeing the screen. Okay, you are. But that was part of the reason. And look what happens as soon as that 90-minute money flow crosses over into the green. Look what happens, right? You get that 90-minute money flow crossover. Bada boom. You get the green dot. Money flow crosses into the green. And then boom, you get the move to the upside. And it was right on that daily green dot printing. And this is how we use that strategy to give us a little bit of a bias, or a little bit more context into where price is going to go next. So that was part of the reason. And we are starting to see that potentially happen again in the opposite way, right? Because we have the red dot looking to print. We're not really that close just yet, but in the next day or two, I will say, if we kind of bing bong around or come down a little bit more, we are likely to see that red dot print on the daily. And if we get that 90-minute money flow, maybe we bing bong around a little bit here, but if that 90-minute goes into the red again with that daily red dot, we could expect something very similar to what we saw happen here when the 90-minute crossed into the green. Money flow very rarely lies. So let me just log into BingX here real quick. Shout out to BingX. If you guys are interested in signing up to trade your favorite altcoins or Bitcoin with or without leverage, so you can catch these fire trades, you can check our link in the description down below. If you want to help support the channel, it will help support us, and I believe you will get a deposit bonus or discount on your first deposit. And let me just get my scanner out here so I can log in. Bada boom. Scan me in. Beam me in, Bobby. What did I say? Beam me in, Bobby? Beam me up, Scotty? Why did I say beam me up, Bobby? But there you go. Yeah, you guys can check out BingX. Let me pull up the position right here. And there we go, right? Up 132%, entry at 39,982, which was right up in this consolidation, 39,982, somewhere within here. I don't know exactly what candle it was, but that is exactly what I was looking at to get into that trade, or at least part of what I was looking at to expect that move to the upside, and how we were able to get into that position. Shout out to the premium Discord. There you go. I was going to take profit on this earlier, but I think I might just let it ride here. I'm going to let it ride a little bit more. Maybe I take a little profit, but we are pretty well in profit here, right? We're pretty deep in profit. So, but there you go. But let's go ahead and continue on, guys. That is basically my thoughts on Bitcoin. I mean, got all the important levels. You got my bias. You got my kind of thoughts on where I think things are going to go next. And then, again, on the 4-hour, that blood diamond, I would be careful. That is definitely a little bit more bearish. So longer term, guys, money flow is still pointing to the downside. It is still pointing to some bigger moves to the downside, which is why I'm being very cautious at these lower highs. But also, while also having a plan, like, I want you guys to keep this in mind, because this is very important. It is not. I say this all the time, and I just want to hammer it home even more. This game is not about picking up or down and then going all in on one decision, right? Like, I'm bullish, I'm sticking to my plan. You should stick to your plan, but you need to. It's an if this then that statement. So again, the charts look more bearish. The money flow looks bearish, and very likely to start that downtrend, that more macro downtrend, potentially targeting $34,000, and even, guys. Dare I say it? I'm not calling for this to come in, but you have to understand we also have a lot of key levels between 32 and 28.8K, which are, we could even come down there and still potentially see something that is, it's not like we're going to be seeing something that's never happened before, right? It would be the value area low of the range. We also have the macro golden pocket that sits up in there as well. And we also have a more local 786 that sits confluent in this level as well. So if we do see that money flow on the daily come back to the downside and give us a bigger move down, 34.4 is going to be another big level to look at on top of 32 to 28.8K. And then we also have some local levels around 37, but we could talk about that bridge talk about that bridge. We can cross that bridge when we get there. So, but other than that, in my opinion, the charts are showing a potential lower high coming in. But I am prepared for a move to the upside. If we start flipping that key level at 46, 48K, that's where we're looking for more upside. And we are prepared to make money on that move as well. That way, it doesn't matter if it goes. People always say to me, like, tell me, like, oh, like, do you think it's going up or down? I'll tell them what I think. But I'm always very clear. I don't care, right? Like right now, sure, I care that we come up in context of my long. Right? But I don't care if we reject here, because if we rejected that value area high, we're going to take the short. So it's all about being prepared in both scenarios, and those are the scenarios that I'm looking at. Technically, from a chart perspective, from a market cipher perspective, it does look like that downward trend is likely to start based off money flow on the higher time frames. But again, we'll have to see what happens. If this, then that, because money flow does fake out once in a while, although it is not very often. So, I show this all the time. I hate to show it up for a 30th time. But when you're in strong uptrends here, guys, we are also approaching the halving, right? And like I said, oftentimes, if we pull up the, let's pull up the weekly chart. Actually, let me pull up one of these random charts. And let's go ahead and pull up the weekly on Bitcoin and pull up the cycle rainbow chart. Rainbow. What is it? BTC. Oh, it's halving. That's what it is. Halving rainbow right here, right? So if we go ahead, let me reapply that. If we take a look at this, guys, this is, what am I doing? Halving. Bada boom. And then I'm going to have to take the plot. There we go. Whoops. There we go. Right. So we come to the weekly. We can see where these halvings are. Typically, guys, right before the halving, we basically go sideways, right? Halving happens. We go up a little bit and then sideways and then off into the bull run. Next halving happens, little push up, little push down, basically sideways, and then off into the next bull run. And then you come up to the next halving happens, more or less you went sideways, next bull run. So, oftentimes, guys, you basically just go sideways. So I wouldn't be surprised, maybe we get a dump or something to come in here, or maybe we get the pump to come in here, because we've seen both things happen. But, after that pump or that dump, in my opinion, like the big levels to watch would be, around that $54,000 value area high. And then, the lowest I would be looking here would be about 28.8K. And then when that halving happens, maybe we get the dump, right? Recovery, and then you just kind of go sideways, and then halving comes, and you're off into the next bull run. But oftentimes we see not that much stuff happen right before the halving, right? Or I'm sorry, right after the halving. So maybe we get a big dump, come in here, kind of wiggle sideways, and then eventually go off into the bull run. But in my opinion, if we're going to break this value area low, we need some kind of a crazy black swan event, which, as you guys know, if you've been watching the news, which I never do, but if you're on any kind of social media, guys, and you're familiar with the state of Texas, there is some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff going on. And I'm just going to say, if this stuff plays out, we're going to be pulling up some clips from about a year ago of me making some wild claims about what I could imagine a crazy black swan being. I'm not saying we're going to get it, but if we got it, I'm just saying, we were looking at this happen. This had nothing to do with the charts. This had everything to do with us just making a random gamble on what we thought the black swan might be. I don't want to see that play out. I really don't want to see that play out. But it is getting more eerily close to happening. So, but there you go. That is what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum really quick and not look at that chart. We want to look at this chart. So for Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it, let's see. Yes, IAN, exactly. Yes, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you. Yo, Dave Digital said, Frankie Candles, does the gold chart show that we have declared, I'm not going to say the word out loud because I don't think YouTube likes it. Dave, I'm scarred to pull up the gold chart in general, right? Just because, you were here when that happened. But let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you were making a joke about that day, Dave, or if you're actually talking about the actual gold chart potentially signaling something. We'll say this. If that thing does happen, likely the gold chart is going to go vertical, straight to the upside. Shout out to Dave Digital. But let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, guys. And look at Ethereum, baby, doing as it does best. And that is exactly what we tell it to do. What were the next key levels on Ethereum we were looking at on the live stream recently? It was the value area high of the range coming in at 2382. And look at here. Simple, oh God, like you can't make this up, guys. This is why you do not want to miss these live streams because you never know what what levels we're going to give you. But simply put here, right, we are within our volume profile. We look for longs at the lows, shorts at the highs. Beautiful rejection off your value area high here. I believe you had some 12-minute bearish divergences with money flow coming out, which is generally what we like to see, or some of what we like to see for that rejection to take place. Higher highs on your momentum. Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. Money flow comes out, and then boom, you get sucked back into your range as you would expect, potentially targeting the point of control, which is sitting at about 2246. Now, let me just go ahead and extend this all the way to the right so we can update those levels. Look at that beautiful tap on the value area high. And again, like this is how we trade, guys. We look for those deviations, we look for the bearish confirmations, and you simply take that trade. And then bada boom, bada bing, you got a beautiful wick to wick. Obviously, you're very rarely going to catch your trades wick to wick, but wick to wick was about $5, 5.32%. Not too bad. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat, bro. And hey, shout out to Jessica. Yesterday was her birthday, but we did not go live, so we couldn't celebrate. Well, shout out to Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. Happy birthday. Quick dance. Let's go, Jessica. Bing bong. Happy birthday, Jessica. Let's get it. Shout out to Tony D. Shout out to Tony D for letting us know about Jessica's birthday, guys. Show some love in the chat for Jessica. Happy birthday. I don't know how old you turned, Jessica, but when I met you, you didn't look a day over 18. So shout out to you. Happy birthday, Jessica. For real, happy birthday. I hope you had a great day. I'm sorry we missed it. If I knew it was your birthday, I would have just streamed from my driveway with the destruction that I caused. But anyway, guys, let's continue on. Show Jessica some love in the chat. And simply put, guys, beautiful, beautiful rejection off that value area high. And actually do want to see this because that was a regular volume profile that we had pulled. But typically, guys, when you are using the Frankie Candles Lux Algo or Frankie Candles Essentials by Lux Algo, typically what we like to see here is that deviation from the value area, which we didn't quite deviate at least on this profile. But again, typically what we see on this indicator, I get a lot of questions about this, is the deviation. And then once you get those bearish divergences forming with money flow coming out is when you get the confirmation signal of that sauce can letting you know that it is likely for you to get sucked back into your range, targeting that point of control. And I actually just wanted to test this out. This one happened very, very quickly. We didn't deviate very far off of that value area high, so we did not get the sauce can, unfortunately. But I thought that might have been a nice, beautiful little setup with the Frankie Candles Lux Algo indicator. But let's see. Yo, let's go. Shout out to Jessica. Let's see. Happy 25th, Jessica. Let's go. Shout out to John Davidson. What just happened? I just had a seizure. Shout out to Jessica. I can't believe you missed your birthday. Oh, God. We'll have to get you a pink hat, Jessica. We'll have to get you a pink hat. Don't you worry. But continuing on here, guys, pulling that volume profile again. Simply put, we have rejected the value area high. We could eventually see that POC, but I wouldn't really expect too much downside for Ethereum until we crack that POC at 2250. Once you lose that, can't get back above. You're looking down towards that value area low, which is going to be your next major level of support. And then as we get higher here, guys, if we do wind up breaking out, very similar to Bitcoin, looking at the value area high, 786, as our next key levels of resistance, right? And let me just pull this local range here real quick. Interesting. I would also keep an eye on right here at about 2473 is the value area high of your previous range. And let me actually test this with some of the other local fibs. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on these two zones, right? You have your POC value area low 786, strong resistance there for sure. Golden pocket, also going to be key resistance, but I would probably actually extend this down to that value area low. So these are the next two levels I'd be looking at on Ethereum. If you get above here, shoot up towards that value area low golden pocket. This is the zone that I would be looking for a short, and same thing with this zone up here. There's no way to know which one we're going to reject. We have to wait for price to hit the level, and then we can assess the price action within that level to see if there's confirmations to come down, in which case we would take the short position. But other than that, guys, you are still within your volume profile. These levels are likely to get respected. And as far as market cipher B, very, very actually doesn't look as bad as Bitcoin because we don't have the blood diamond. Money flow is kind of bing-bonging around here. Maybe we come back into the green, but kind of hard to say here as of right now for Ethereum. But I would be looking at this volume profile with your next key level of support being the POC at 2250, and then the next level underneath that between 2158 and 2143 at your value area low. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, I forgot to say, if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and spam them into chat. Rob the Crypto Snob, whose birthday is in 2 weeks. Rob, I don't know what we're going to do when it's your birthday because we say happy birthday to you every single day. And guys, we're at 257 likes. If we get to 550, we're giving away 5 Frankie Candles hats. So smash that like button if you have not already. And we're going to be giving away 5 hats. Let's get it. All right, let's see. Let's see. Creighton C says, totally not a giant head and shoulders. Let's see. Like a potentially. Could be Creighton. Crayon. Let's go. Shout out to Creighton C. I guess, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of wonked out. But go ahead and spam those altcoins, guys. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Rob, let's do like 2 or 3. And then I will start off with XRP, which obviously, guys, you guys know Chris Hansen's wallet got hacked. I'm kidding. I know it's not Chris Hansen. Chris Larson's wallet got hacked. And I know a lot of people thought it was Ripple. I don't think it was Ripple. I think it was his personal wallet. I don't know, guys. I know one person on the top of my, I know almost nobody who has had their money stolen or lost money in an exchange. I know probably 30 people who have had their wallets hacked. And yeah, I don't know. It's super, super difficult because I get it. Like, it's not your keys, not your crypto. I totally understand. But from my general experience, it's like, I mean, I use hot wallets, I use cold wallets, I use exchanges. I am very well diversified, but it's very funny how it's like everyone always claims safety is in the hot wallets, safety is in the hot wallets, really the cold wallets. But people always say, not your keys, not your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. But I simply know, I know an uncountable amount of people who have had their wallets hacked. I know nobody who's ever lost money in an exchange. I know a couple of people who lost money in Celsius, but way less people who lost money in Celsius than I know people. Like, I hear about people's wallets getting hacked every single day. People I know. So it's just wild. It's like, I get it. Not your keys, not your crypto. Let's go crypto. I get it. But I mean, at what point do you say, like, I don't know. I'm very careful with my wallets, guys. I do not have a large sum of, like, my money is super diversified because, like, your money's really not safe anywhere. Your money's not safe in a bank. It's not safe in a wallet. The only place your money is really safe, I guess, is cold storage. But then you deal with a little bit of, you're not as liquid as you would be. It's not bad, but, you're not as liquid as you would be if you had your money sitting on an exchange. You just have to understand there's risk everywhere, guys, even if you're using a hot wallet. So anyway, let's continue on here. And guys, I can't say enough how much XRP broke my heart just because you guys will remember the short we took up here on this liquidation wick. We got into the position. I held this position for, come on. There we go. I held this position for 52 days, waiting for it to come down to the value area high and the POC of the previous range. And they closed my position. I don't remember. Not that I don't remember. I don't know why they closed my position. My position randomly closed. I had margin. They didn't delist it. Someone said they delisted it on Femex. I don't know why the position was closed. But I went to go check, and my position was just closed. And it's like the next day, it ripped down to the POC of the range. And then here we are. Remember, guys, last time we looked at XRP, what were we saying? Where it wicks, it goes. Oftentimes when you see these big wicks, oftentimes price will fill it. But it's not that easy, right? This is why people lose money trading, because more often than not, when you have a wick like this, it will get filled, right? Meaning price will come down and fill out that wick. But if you're looking at this saying, hey, where wicks it goes, you might fill the wick, and then people see a bounce like this, and they're like, well, I guess that's not happening. But patience, right? Patience. What happens? You came for a retracement, and then boom, you finally come down and fill the range. And I felt crazy calling for XRP to come down to this POC. And I'm going to say it. If we lose this point of control, guys, there's only a few levels that we can look at, right? Before we wind up coming down into the 40s, right? We've already come down to the value area low of this local range. So if we lose this point of control, and more specifically the bottom of this blue box, and again, one of the reasons why this value area high in POC was a target for my actual short setup or my short position that I took was simply because it was the golden pocket and the 786 Fibonacci retracement of this entire move to the upside. So naturally, my targets were going to be the golden pocket and the 786, and then they just closed my position. The most obnoxious thing. I would have loved to show that trade. But if we lose this value area low, slash point of control, right, which we're kind of trying to cling on to right now, if we lose this level, guys, the next serious level of support, I mean, really, once we lose the 786 here, get below 49K, 49 cents. XRP's at 49K. Oh, my God. Thank you, Rob. Rob says, pin my next comment. Let's get it. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you. But, guys, if we get stuck under that 786, the next key level is down here at 43 cents at our more macro or medium-term value area low. And I feel crazy saying that, guys. I do feel crazy saying that. But I felt crazy when we were sitting up here calling for the value area high and the POC to get hit, and here we are, right? I'm not saying we get it right 100% of the time, but, more often than not, when I say something might happen and people are like, this guy's crazy, that's usually when I'm right? Or I should say this. The times where we are wrong once in a while, it's usually, if everybody's looking in the same direction, right? If everyone's bullish on Bitcoin and then I'm like, yeah, I guess it does kind of look bullish, and the charts are saying this, like that's usually where things are wrong. But oftentimes, like the macro golden pocket on Bitcoin right here, getting bearish at the macro golden pocket, calling for XRP to come back down into this range. Solana to $100 was a little bit less contrarian, but I'm not saying that just because it sounds crazy that we're definitely going to see it, but it just goes to show, it's like the more crazy I sound or the more crazy I feel like I sound, it's like usually where I'm like, man, and I felt crazy looking for that. But, it's an if this, then that, right? I'm not saying we're definitely going down there. I'm saying if we really decisively lose this level, the next key level of support and technical target of the move would be that value area low at 43 cents. And I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear. I hold a lot of XRP as well, but this thing cannot catch a break. But if we pull the full, even if we pull that full range, right, I extend this range all the way to the right, like it moves your value area low up to about 44 cents, right? So that zone between 44 and 43 cents is definitely going to be your next level of support. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out with a box. So between about 44 and 43 cents is your next key level for XRP. And I would be willing, right, if we did get down there, I would be willing, as long as the charts were calling for it, I would be looking for long positions down here, right? I'm not just like selling all my XRP and looking for it to go to zero. I'd be looking for the deviation and the long setup, just like we did on Bitcoin recently to get me into this position. So let's see. XRP to zero. Let's go. Shout out to Krishna Kumar. Let's go. XRP to zero. Shout out to the XRP army. Yeah, it's a stable dumpy coin. Yes. XRP equals yellow X every day. Shout out to stupid Bitcoin. Yes. It's, yeah. I mean, guys, I like XRP. I hold a bag of it. Most of my XRP was accumulated very long time ago. I've bought a little bit here and there. But I'm basically topped off on my XRP bags, right? Like I haven't been buying XRP recently. And I really accumulated most of it a long time ago before the lawsuit. So I've been holding on to this thing as long as anybody else. And, yeah, just disappointment after disappointment. Unbelievable. Dreamland says, long it for like a year or a decade. Yeah, man, maybe hold it for a decade. It's got to go back up, right? But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and continue on. Jay Gilly says, I'll put a giant degen long if we do. Yeah, he should probably make more money than holding it, honestly. Let's see. Shout out to Major Benefits, says, it's going to be funny to see what you mockers say when it hits $10. I will be super happy. I'll be super happy when it hits $10. I do hold a lot of it. I do believe in it. It's just been brutal. It's just been brutal. I want to be very clear. I am an XRP bull. I like XRP. I think it should do well. And I think it will do well, right, in the next bull run. It's going to do something. And actually, $10 isn't even off the table for me. If you check out our XRP video, we did an XRP price prediction video where we look at the higher targets for for XRP, and $10 is somewhere in there. Shout out to Major B. He said, not you, Frankie. But yeah, no, it's I like XRP. But I do want to be clear, like, I haven't accumulated it in a while. But let's see. Yeah, shout out to Dougal, said, thanks, Major. I'm sick of the complaining, too. Yeah, it's XRP. I mean, XRP is also... Oh, there's the link. There we go. If you guys want to check out that XRP price prediction video, you can check it out there. $10 is in the cards, and maybe even a little bit higher, assuming nothing crazy happens. Let's see. Dave Digital says, I just want $1.28 XRP, and I'll never touch it again. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of an issue with XRP as well, guys. The one problem I do see is you have a lot of people... Like, take it from me, right? I was accumulating this before the lawsuit, right? So you have a lot of people who are in the same situation as me. You have people who bought it at the top of the last bull market, or top of the last bull market, the top of the 2017 bull market, and they have never seen these prices hit again. And what this says to me, now this could be wrong, this might not happen, but you have to assume that all of these people are holding this coin that has kind of been a sleeper for a long time. And the one worry I do have is if it does start to move, you're going to have a lot of people who have been sitting at a loss for a very long time that are probably dying to get out. Now, this is not the camp that I fall into. I am looking to hold XRP into the next bull run. I do think it will do well. Like I said, you can check out that price prediction video to find realistic technical targets. But, the one thing, there's probably going to be a significant amount of sell pressure from these people who have just been like diamond handing this thing for so long. But XRP, if they have one thing other than amazing tech, it's community, which, maybe the sell pressure doesn't come. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens to XRP. It's either going to be like, I knew it, I held it for a reason, or it's going to be like, oh my God, this was the worst mistake of my life. We'll just have to see what happens. But let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is Solana. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. We're giving away 5 hats at 550 likes. We're just about 300. I don't care if you touch it with your butt, elbow it, lick it, kiss it, fondle it, creepily fondle it, like just like kind of creepy and slow like that, something like that. Creepily fondle. I don't judge you. Just smash that like button and get some free hats. Let's go. But let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. And if you guys, there's that. Oh, did that play out? Let's go, baby. Yo, you can't make it up, guys. Volume profiles are overpowered, unfair, and it's basically cheating. And here is now it's not a trade setup because, guys, you should never just take a trade based off what somebody says, right? Especially on YouTube, right? Now, I am doing this every single day. You see me on the live streams in the Discord, but there is no, you can't just listen to some people on YouTube and expect to make a bunch of money. But what I like to do here is entertain you and give you education on the skill of technical analysis, which will aid you in making money in this market. So when you see me put these up on the chart, especially on a live stream, I am not saying just, hey, wait for price to come down here long and then it's going to play out in full. That is not how you should take this. But what I'd like to do is show you what I am looking at if I were looking to take a trade on this. And we did this on the live stream, I guess recently. It was before we came down to this low, so it must have been, probably a week or two ago. Looking for price as we were bing-bonging around this local range, but also understanding that we were simply within this larger volume profile. And we were talking about how I was not interested in longs from this golden pocket. Doesn't mean you can't long it. You could have gotten a nice scalp there, could have got a nice scalp there, nice scalp here, of course, right? But for me, I would have been more interested in the bigger trade, which I don't like taking trades in the middle of a range, guys. And what is this? This is the point of control. This is literally the middle of the range, right? So I would have been much more comfortable waiting for a pullback into our value area low, which is why this blue box is here. You have your previous value area low and your 786 retracement. And we knew because of that, it was likely to come test that level. And if you were able to find those confirmations, that would be where I'd be looking for another long position. And as you can see, the theory of these trades is finding the undervalued asset as it's at support, right? Not shorting the breakdown. You can see we actually deviated below this level, not panic shorting as we break the level of support, but actually doing the opposite of most people, which is looking for longs. And then you can see the thought process here is to ride this up into the POC, maybe take a TP1 here. It's a 10% move, not too bad. And then look to have this filled all the way up to the value area high, which you could see was filled completely. Now, again, not that you should just blindly follow somebody. You will lose all your money if you do that. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And this is just for entertainment purposes. But we do charts. We do charts here. We do charts. But there you go. Nice to see that play out. I'm just messing around, guys. But, nice to see that play out. And what happened? We came up to that value area high, and we are simply seeing a pullback. So nothing really too unexpected here. So what I'm going to do here is pull my fib from the low to the high, but I'm actually going to get the actual low. And, naturally, your golden pocket is in confluence with your point of control of the macro range, right? And now where was this range pulled from? Simply put, it was pulled from back here, right? And you have that POC. We extrapolate the level. Now that we have rejected that value area high, we could potentially, if we see a bigger move down, look for our next level of support or target to be that point of control. So just like we were looking to go from the low to the POC to the high in that long, we are actually now going to flip that on its head and look for not look for a short. It's too late now. But if you were in a short from here, I would simply be treating this as a value area trade, right? Simply looking for the short to come down to your POC and potentially your value area low. Now, obviously, this is not going to play out 100% of the time because eventually the range is going to break. We're either going to come back up, break out to the upside, or we're going to come down to the POC, break down to the low, and then come back down into this range. So in the bearish case, I would expect these main key levels to get respected. Value area high sitting at about $107, POC sitting at about 90.23, and your value area low at 81.17. If we lose that value area low, simply put, rejection. We can't get back above. Now, this is a tricky scenario because you are looking for longs. But if you don't get the long confirmations and we get a breakdown, the next key zone of support is going to be down here at this previous value area, 76.12. That's your next key level of support on Solana. If you break below that, you're simply looking to treat this as your new range, just like we treated it up here, meaning you can look for longs at the low, shorts at the high. So price comes down, breaks below this range. Obviously, be careful of support here, but once you break down below this value area, it is going to be more likely that you come to your POC at $73 or the value area low at 69.38. Simply put, guys, it's a game of volume profiles. When you look at the charts in terms of volume profiles, it simply simplifies everything beyond what you could imagine. It's unbelievable. It's one of the most powerful trading tools I've ever found in my life. Let's see. Shout out to Thesis himself. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, if I wanted a 10X, I would have stayed in stocks. Yo, shout out to Thesis himself. Yeah, that is a very, very good point. I think it's a big thing in crypto is kind of taming, it's taming expectations, guys. You're going to see moving into this bull run, all the influencers are going to start calling for astronomical prices, just like Bitcoin to 100K, Ethereum to 25K. That all happened last cycle. Everybody's calling for these astronomical prices, but they don't back it up with any information. It's completely speculative. And I want to be very clear. Trading a chart, just because you look at a chart does not mean that you're not speculating, but it's like, I like to look at a chart, right? So I can find where the fib levels are. So I can find where those spider lines are. So I can find where those next levels of resistance and support are going to be. So I can have actual information-backed ideas on where this coin can go. And a lot of people just get up here and they'll read the news and they'll just tell you some arbitrary number that they think is going to get hit because of some moon math they do in their head. It's simply, in my opinion, irresponsible to do when you have a bunch of people listening to you on the internet, right? And you just got to be careful as the bull run comes. There's going to be a lot of people that pop up and do this. But for me, I like to look at the charts and find actual reasons why price can get there, comparing market caps, looking at the fib levels, looking at the spider lines. And unfortunately, what that's going to do is it's going to bring up much more conservative price targets. But the plus side to that is you won't get wrecked. You're going to actually take profit at the right time instead of holding on to all your crypto for these crazy numbers that make absolutely no sense. So just be careful with that. And it's not that the 100Xs aren't in crypto. They 100% are. They're going to be happening left and right. We're still going to go through a crazy alt season, etc. But, you have to start looking at the market caps of some of these bigger coins, right? And the idea with the idea with XRP is a lot of people think XRP is going to ungodly amounts of value, right? Like people think XRP is going to $589. I think that's a joke. But there's people who think XRP is going to $10,000, and like this is simply not possible unless something has to break or they have to change something. Like, but based off market cap, this is simply not possible. And it's XRP, right, from where it is right now to $10, even $50, let's just say $20 on the high end, is not going to get you 100x, right? So, same thing with a lot of the higher, the market caps that are higher up, right? Like your top 10 tokens doesn't mean they're bad investments, but for someone who does not have a lot of money to invest, you're not going to make, you're not going to buy, say, XRP. You're not going to put $1,000 into XRP and then make $1 million, right? Unless it does go to $10,000, which again, if you actually run the math and you actually look at how the market moves and how assets get value, it's simply impossible, right? Again, unless something crazy changed, right? They would have to like change. I don't know. I personally don't see how it would ever happen. They have a reason. There's all these reasons that maybe I don't understand. I would never get up here and say, I'm agnostic, right? I'm open to the fact that maybe there is some kind of crazy thing that could happen that I don't fully understand. And maybe those people are going to be right. But based off what I know, based off my experience, based off of the real things I've seen play out in other cycles, $10,000 XRP is never going to happen. It's not even physically possible. So, so you got to think about that. When you have a lot of money, when you have a certain amount of money, like how much do you have to invest, right? Look at the market cap. Look at the circulating supply. Understand how coins get their value and understand that like the 100Xs are not going to be in the top 10 coins likely unless we go on the biggest bull run ever and this time is different. But just remember that this time's different people are wrong every single time so far. So just keep that in mind. If XRP goes to $10,000, I will be more happy than most people. I'll be one of the richest people in the world probably, right? But I just have to be realistic because I want to take profit and make money, not just hold on for some, dreamy price target. So there you go. But thank you for saying that, Thesis, because that kind of caused a nice little education there. So shout out to Thesis himself, and shout out to Creighton C. Said, okay, if it hits $10, I'll stop making fun of XRP. Until then, I'm making jokes. Who am I kidding? Even I'll run out of jokes by the year 22. Shout out to Thesis. Shout out to Creighton, bro. I'll run out of jokes by the year 2355. I got a Green Hat token for XRP holders. USDT, yo, shout out to Creighton. Acts just like XRP. You'll love it. Shout out to Creighton. Yeah, hopefully, just pray for XRP. Hopefully it moves. I appreciate the super chat. Creighton, you super chat all the time, bro. I appreciate you so much. And shout out to Retro Mike says, Crayon XRP bag fund. Yo, shout out to Retro Mike. And Tony D coming in saying, Frankie, please check Discord announcements. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Luke. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the super chat. Said, question, time frame in the lower left corner of TradingView. What do you often select? This is this doesn't matter. This is just like if you're zooming in and out. Shout out to Luke. That's a great question. I'll be honest with you, Luke. I can't tell you. I can't tell you like if I've ever even clicked these buttons. Shout out to Luke. Luke, you just broke Frankie Candles, dude. I don't think I've ever noticed this down here. I've been using TradingView since I was a junior in high school. Junior? I was 16 or 17. Junior? Yeah. I was in 11th grade when I started using TradingView. And I don't think I've ever clicked these buttons. I believe all this does is it just shows you like this is the year, right? Yeah. So that's all that does, right? So if you want to see a year of price action on the daily, you would click 1 year. If you want to see 5 years, you zoom out, and then this is 5 years, right? But I just zoom in and out like this. So time frames I pay attention to are here, right? So there you go. Wild. Luke, shout out to you, bro. You just broke my brain. I can't believe I've never seen that. Not never seen it, but never clicked it. Literally never paid it any attention. But shout out to Luke. Thank you for the super chat. Hopefully that answers your question. And shout out to Thesis. Appreciate the super chat. He says, the thing is, as a trader, you can constantly achieve a 10x gains in a week, given the right market conditions. This is why many traders, including me, generally don't hodl aside from position trades. Yeah. Shout out to Thesis. That's the other thing, too. It's like, yeah, and that's very specific to what type of trader you are, right? And, yeah, like I have a very, very large hodl bag, right? But like my 10Xs, my 50Xs, like you could get that while trading every other day, every day, 5 times a day, right? Depending on the trades that you're getting. But yeah, shout out to Thesis himself. It's a really good point, man. Like some of my leverage trades give me like, you'd be up thousands of %. And like, that's something you would have to hold through a bull market when you can just get that on a trade. So shout out to Thesis. Yeah, sometimes I feel like everybody's focused on their hodl bags, and I'm like, I make a lot of my money just short-term trading, right? It's like, identify what kind of trader you are. Are you an investor? Are you a swing trader? Are you a day trader? Are you a scalper? And by scalper, I mean in and out of 5 trades in an hour. I mean scalper, right? What kind of trader are you? What does your life look like? What kind of trader does your life allow you to be? 99% of people are going to be long-term investors because that's what their life enables them to do. If you have a full-time job, you're not going to be scalping the 5-minute, or at least not successfully. I don't even recommend beginners try to scalp. It's very, very difficult to do, even for an experienced trader. But you have to figure out what your life enables you to do and then stick to that plan. For me, I am a long-term hodler, and then I am a full-time trader. I am in day trades, swing trades, scalps from time to time. I used to scalp a lot more. I don't really scalp as much because my life does not enable me to do that much anymore. So just identify what you are, right? Like what does your life allow you to do, and then stick to that plan so you're not at a full-time job trying to scalp the 5-minute and losing all your money. Shout out to Thesis himself. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Let's see. Flat Smack says, I hodl with diamond hands and trade with paper hands. Let's go. Shout out to Flat Smack. You're not alone, bro. You're not alone. Don't you worry. Okay, let's continue on and take I like 1 minute for scalping. Yep, that is a Tony D said, bro, actually shoot me away. Check announcements. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Hold up. I'm sorry, bro. I shooed you away as a joke and then literally just moved on. That's my fault. I did not mean to actually shoo you away. Let me go ahead and pull up those Discord announcements. I pulled my face cam up, guys, because I have PTSD pulling up that Discord live. Throw a sauce can in the chat if you guys were in the live stream that gave me the PTSD. I'm curious how many people were here during that. But let me go ahead and pull up these announcements. Okay, there you go, Tony. Are you? All right, guys. Well, everybody say bye to Tony D. He does this to me in the premium live streams all the time. I don't know why. I didn't think that this was going to happen. Guys, say bye to Tony D and tell him you love him because he just lost his dang position. Never gonna get you up. Never gonna hurt you down. Shout out to the Rick Rollers out there, and shout out to Tony D. I'm just kidding, bro. Tony D can't go anywhere, guys. This entire thing would fall apart without Tony D. Shout out to Tony, man. I don't know. I need to stop bringing up Discord when he tells me to because he sets me up like 5 times a day. But let's go ahead and continue on, guys. Taking a look at Solana. Where could we go next? Taking a look at the 16-hour. Yeah, money flow kind of bing-bonging around. Take a look at the daily. Oh, red dot just disappeared. Yeah. Guys, key level of support, POC, right here, $90. Probably going to be likely once we print that red dot. Money flow is also trending to the downside, which could potentially, again, call for that longer-term downtrend that we see with these big money flow crossovers on the higher time frames. So, in my opinion, once that red dot prints and confirms, it's going to be likely to come down to the POC. We break that. You guys get the gist. We just went over this. That's what I'd be looking at on Solana. Locally, look for some noise. But just in general, that daily does look like yo, shout out. Yo, unbelievable. Shout out to Creighton C said, how did you not see that coming? Well, when Tony D says show announcements, usually it's like, oh God, something's happening, or it's something that has to happen by the end of the stream. Usually it's urgent. But yeah, that was that timing was very lucky. Shout out to Creighton. And Dave Digital says, are you hiring? I heard you were hiring. Shout out to Dave Digital. Dave, not quite yet, but very soon. Potentially. All right, let's see. Dark Crash says when BTCTA. Shout out to Dark Crash. We got the water, brother. We got the water. But let's continue on, guys. Let's take a look at ICP. Tony D trying to derail the whole live stream. Rick rolling his boy. Come on. Thought we were on the same team here. Unbelievable. All right, let's see. All right, so no, this is not the ICP chart. We want the MEXC chart. Did I say MEXC, guys? I meant Coinbase. All right, we'll work with this. This is a no. Where's our? We'll just leave it. Okay. So for ICP, let's zoom out. Yeah. So here, I'm gonna move this level up here. That's your previous value area low. These are the key levels to the upside, guys. Right? And these are not new. Right? These are levels that we've been looking at for quite some time. So, I mean, pretty similar situation as everything else, right? Red dot printing on the 2-day. This looks disgusting. If this is a blood diamond, that is nasty. Definitely going to be a blood diamond. There it is. Okay. So, blood diamond on the 2-day. This is more bearish, guys. Could have somewhat of a head and shoulders here. I'm sure, some people are looking at bada boom, right? If you were to measure this as a legitimate head and shoulders, just rough this out real quick. Right? Neckline from the high. Get that breakout. Could be bringing you down to about $5.90. That's probably the worst head and shoulders I've ever drawn. But it does get you into that value area high level, or territory, I should say, right? So we have rejected this value area low, which is also going to be the doorway to higher prices if we reapproach it. But right now, we have rejected it, and we are now putting in lower highs. So we have to anticipate some more downside. This 2-day blood diamond is more of a macro bearish signal. These typically do give you some blood, but 16-hour, let's see, daily money flow coming out. This looks similar to everything else. If you do get that move to the downside, guys, your next key level of support is going to be, let me update this. Yeah, golden pocket, which we kind of front ran here, to be quite honest with you. Golden pocket sitting between 926 and 890. If we break that level, 786 is coming in at $7.41. And then if we break that level, your next key level is going to be right here. Previous value area high. This is a very key level. This is kind of like the, oh my God, mommy help me level, right? Because if we break down, we don't get that 786 retracement to come up and attack the higher prices, which, again, you'd be looking to flip that value area low before filling the rest of the range, potentially up to $21. But if you come down, you break that 786 and can't get back above, this is kind of your lifeline, because if you can't bounce off of this and you get stuck underneath here, this opens up the door for much more downside, which I wouldn't necessarily call for, but with this money flow, could see a move down to these retracement levels and potentially the value area high. But once you lose this value area high, guys, we're likely going to see much more downside here for ICP. I am bullish on ICP, guys. This is actually an altcoin that I had not accumulated as much as I wanted to at the lows. So I am waiting for a significant pullback to buy a pretty decent bag of ICP. This is one I want to go in a little bit heavier on, but just wasn't on my radar as much as it is now. So if you like decentralized internet, definitely check out ICP. But those are the key levels I'd be looking at. And again, 2-day blood diamond is definitely a little bit more bearish. So that's not a great sign, but it is a great sign if you're looking to accumulate. So that's what I would be looking at. And again, if you were to see that head and shoulders-ish pattern play out, you would be looking, you're looking for that technical target just at about that value area low, value area high. So could we see it happen? Potentially, but I'd be careful in this blue box because you could catch support in there. So there you guys go. There is ICP. Let's see. CH says, can you check Manta? We could check out Manta real quick. We got a little bit of time here. We got 619 people, 361 likes, guys. Smash up that like button. We got 550 likes on tonight's live stream. If you have not, we have 619 people. That means mathematically we can get 550 likes. If we get 550, we'll give away 5 Frankie Candles hats, and I'll give away $100 in ADA. There you go. $100 and 5 hats. Smash that like button. Let's go. Anyway, taking a look at Manta. Let's check it. Okay. So you're actually coming down to some significant support. Let me actually mark out some of these key levels. Come up to the weekly. Okay. Nah, not even the weekly. Let's check the monthly. And okay, we're going to have to go daily. Not much. Okay. So let me go ahead and mark these out real quick for you. You're getting the sauce here, CH. You're getting the sauce. 2 NDPOCs. Bada boom. Bada bing. There we go. And I'll even put this one down here in case things get super bloody. But this is what I would look at on Manta. Let me clear the indicators real quick. Okay, so let me grab my fixed range volume profile. And let's pull it on here. Okay, so this is, whoops. This is what I would look for on Manta. Let's see. You do have, actually, I'm going to pull this right here. Boom. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get the sauciest sauce here. Sauciest sauced. All right, so Manta. Key levels of resistance. Key levels of resistance. Going to be, bear with me. We have some nice levels here. Yeah, these are nice. Okay, so let me mark out this value area. This might be the most valuable part of the stream, guys. If I can't talk, like if I'm not talking, it means like this is like I'm focused here, right? Because that means that there is sauce incoming. This is like anyone who is watching me do this, there's a lot that you can learn from just watching me do this. If you guys are interested in how I trade, how I do my analysis, just watching this enough can get you very far. I will tell you that. But this is what I'd be looking at on Manta. In the short term, simply put, kind of a nice plan here. If, right now we're within our area of balance here, right? So we've rejected the value area high. Based off the laws of the volume profile, we'd expect that value area low to get visited at $2.92. If we get a move back to the value area high, I would look for a short at this level, right? We have a naked daily point of control, the value area high, as well as this. I didn't really, I took it off the screen, but right here you have this local Fibonacci 786 retracement right in that purple box. So if we come back up here, this could potentially be a place to look for a potential short position back down to your POC, hoping to fill that range down to the value area low at $2.92. Now, if you get back above your value area high and you start to get a big recovery, the key level of resistance I would look at in that case is going to be this value area low, naked daily point of control confluence on top of the golden pocket confluence that you have on there as well. Now, this is, if we are looking at this in the longer term, like we are on Bitcoin, and we are looking at something like money flow, which you are not going to get here because there's not enough price history, at least on the daily, but you could see 4-hour money flow is just crossed into the red, indicating a more macro downtrend is likely to come in. So if we do wind up getting that, we could look on this next 4-hour green dot to get a retracement. But if we break out and we get the bigger retracement, this is the full golden pocket 786 retracement. This zone and this zone, 786 POC value area high, golden pocket value area low, naked point of control. These are two very strong levels. So if you get a big retracement, these are two major levels I would look for a potential short at if the setup occurs. And then locally, if you wind up coming up a little bit more local here, I would also look for shorts at that level. A lot of confluence on these levels, so they should be respected. No guarantees, but they should be pretty respected. You have some nice levels here. But other than that, I would look within this range to give you some confluence on where price is likely to go next. So there you go. I would probably, I'll just give you like a little insight. If I were looking to trade this, if I were forced to get into a trade on Manta, I would look for a retracement into this purple zone to look for a potential short. And then if we broke out, it's also pretty clear in validation too, right? Because if you pull that same fib that we just looked at, right, from the high to the low, perfect confluence here. Honestly, if you come up here, you're looking for the short, even if you're deviating a little bit. Once you flip that 786, probably going to break out a little bit, right? If you pull up the VPVR, you can see you have a little gap here. I didn't know that, but I assumed it was there just based off this candle. So if you start flipping that 786, you're probably going to be shooting up closer to the 335 level. But definitely strong resistance and an opportunity to look for a short. So if I were trading this, I would wait for a retracement, potentially get it back above that POC to look for a short. If we don't get back above that POC, I would sit on my hands and wait for the low of the range to look for longs. I'm not looking to FOMO short in the middle of the range. I would wait to get the move down, happily not be in a position, and then look for the long down here. So with all that being said, guys, I think that is all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Even better, when you have strong naked point of control above the current value area, juicy AF. Shout out to Dave Digital. I like the way you think, bro. I like the way you think. Get out of my head. Get out of my head, Dave. Oh, my God. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us tonight. And hopefully we could see at least a little bit of a bounce on Bitcoin. But be very careful, guys. The big thing to be watching right now are those key levels above on Bitcoin at 48. 44 to 46K. Those are the big zones that I'm looking at for shorts. And then if we do come lower, watch that money flow on the daily, because that could indicate the bigger break to the downside, and more specifically, that 90-minute money flow crossover. So with all that being said, shout out to TradeMain, shout out to Hodl Crypto, shout out to Dave Digital, shout out to Chemtrice, shout out to Al Jr., shout out to No One, shout out to some of these names are funny to say out loud. Shout out to Wix. Wix Wi-Fi 89, Alexandra G, Creighton C, as always, Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Crimson's girlfriend, are you a doctor? Shout out to you. Shout out to 12 Big. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, guys. Pray for Bitcoin. Hopefully we can come back and fight Jerome Powell with a nice little pump to the upside. But you guys have the key levels. That's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Didn't even crack the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water today. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
You gotta stop though. You just made a fool of me. Check the announcements. Check the announcements. And then I pull up and I'm Rick rolled. Am I in? It's funny for you. It's embarrassing for me. Don't quit. Please don't quit. No, it's fine. You can do Rick roll me anytime you want. It's fine. No. Hello? Are we still live? I think we are. Guys, shout out to Tony D. If you guys see Tony D, tell him I'm not actually mad. I was actually mad, but he's even more mad. Guys, please pray for Tony D. He cannot leave. We will fall apart without him. Hashtag Tony D Strong. Let's go. Shout out to the Mafia. I'm just kidding, guys. I'll see you next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, man, we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know.
That's the Pasta
yeah.
Mafia.
Maxed out, put the pedal to the